All right, what we got up here is a homemade harissa sauce that I made last night. And I felt like jumping on to do a review about it just to talk about the recipe, what I changed up from the original recipe. It wasn't my recipe to begin with, but I made it. I tend to cook quite a bit. I like to cook, and I've made sauces from time to time, like like a curry. I've made my own curry. I've made my own some Greek style sauces, some different like spreads almost. And this one actually turned out to be almost like a hot sauce. It's a little bit thicker, as you can see. You know what I mean? There it goes. But believe it or not, it comes out of this bottle really nicely. This is the only bottle that I had. Now, I made a small batch of this last night for a specific dinner I was making. And this bottle was all the way to the top full, and then there was just a little bit left in like a cereal bowl, just a standard small cereal bowl that was left over from the original. So I put all of that, I haven't had any more, I put all of that on one dish last night, and it was fucking amazing. It was hot as shit. Probably the hottest dish I've ever made. So what I made last night, and I made this sauce specifically just for the dish I was making, was ground camel over some white rice with Bhut Jolokia chilies fresh, just diced up, mixed in with the rice. So a bed of rice, and then just ground camel meat. And then I used some of this sauce and mixed it in with the meat as it was still in the skillet, just on warm, just kind of simmering. Meat was already cooked. I just added that to it. And then I put, more of this on top of the finished dish as well. And it was hot. I mean, it was as close to a challenge dinner that I've ever made myself. So I finished it. The white rice helped. I'll be honest with you. This was hot. So harissa sauce. I'm not sure if you guys are familiar with it, but not something I'm real familiar with either. But for this particular recipe, and again, I love the color how this came out. Just a beautiful orange. You can see the bits. That's pepper chunk right there. You can see some of the roasted chunks, different pieces. So 2 red bell peppers, charred, and then cooled and peeled, and then diced up. I think I used 6 garlic cloves in this one. I used 5 fresh Bhut Jolokia ghost pepper chilies. Harissa sauce generally has like bird's eye chili in it for the spice, and sometimes Fresno chilies for the color. Of course, I don't have bird's eye chili, right? But I did have ghost pepper, and I made it my level heat. Bird's eye chili wouldn't quite have gotten it there. What else goes in this? Coriander seed, cumin seed that I warmed on a skillet. You know what I mean, just so they were fragrant. And then some lime juice, or no, I'm sorry, lemon juice, salt, and that's it. Oh, and then right at the very end, after it was done blending and everything, I added 1 fresh habanero, just because I was like, I wanted the color to get a little bit more vibrant. It didn't change much, but I thought in my head, adding that habanero was going to make it just that much more vibrant. It was already vibrant, didn't need it. But also I was like, we'll make it just a little bit spicier, because up until that point, all I had done was dip my spoon in it, taste it. I was like, yep, tastes exactly like I would want it to. So let's get to it. So that's the recipe for it. And like I said, I used half the bottle and then some on just one dish last night. So see if we can get it. It was pouring out of here. Just got to come to the So it has a nice thickness to it. It's real creamy as well. Up front, it's really garlicky. Again, a beautiful, see, it looks more like a burnt orange here on camera, but in the bottle, it's more like a pinkish orange. And on the food last night, it really held more of that color as opposed to that color. See the difference just being in the bottle? Anyways, spoonful by itself. Let's see how hot it really is. Cheers, my friends. Mm-hmm. It's perfect. It's got good texture to it. Lots of bits and pieces in there. When you're moving around your palate, you can really pick up a lot of the spices. It's almost like sand is kind of the texture of it a little bit. There's a liquidity to it, but there's also, and that's like a bottom layer of it. And then throughout it, as you're moving around your palate and really just absorbing it, it gets a little gritty. And I like that in a sauce. It's a little bit on the thicker side, but not too much. I mean, it holds on food really well, especially after I drizzled some on top of the ground camel meat, which was on top of the rice. And then I took a couple of pictures of the food. By the time I got to eating the food, the sauce that I drizzled just on the top of it, again, I use that sauce within the meat as well, but what I just kind of dolloped on top of it, it was kind of firm, you know, and just really held to the food. So I think this is going to go good. I'm making I got to work tonight, so I'm going to just do some grilled bratwurst or something like that. It's going to be money on it. Let's do a little bit more. It actually comes out of this bottle really well. It's a lot. It's got a little bit of a tang to it as well. Just a little bit sour note right in the middle there. The heat's all at the end. Like right now, it's heating up in the mouth. I can feel it on my gums, a little bit in the throat. I can feel myself starting to, you know, glisten up a little bit, getting a little red. So she's warm. I don't think that would have been a dish. Even if I didn't put any more on top, just the amount that I put in with the ground camel meat would have been probably too hot for most people. And what I'm liking about this sauce is that it's a building heat. It builds upon itself. Anyways, just thought I would share the recipe, what I had for dinner, that kind of thing, and show you just a quick little sauce that I made up. Really simple recipe. I just added different chilies. I did a much heavier amount for the amount. I think the recipe that I was following said it would have made like, I don't know, 2 cups. That's about what it made. You know what I mean? You know, or whatever it was, doesn't matter. But that recipe was only using 3 bird's eye chilies. Bird's eye chilies are, you know, they're small, right? So I used, I think it was 5, could have been 6 ghost peppers that were, you know, pretty nice, long, pretty good ghost peppers, and then one big old habanero. So I almost quadrupled, I think, well, for sure, the amount of heat. I added in more garlic. I think the recipe only wanted, I don't know, 3 cloves of garlic maybe or something. I added 6. I like garlic, plus it helps with the spice. A little bit of garlic, kind of spicy as well, right? And then I added more lemon juice than what it said too, just because I wanted it to be a little bit fresher. I wanted it to have that kind of fresh bite to it, which you get. But I also was trying to thin the sauce out a little bit, so I added in, and I just used fresh lemon. I didn't buy lemon juice. I just cut up a lemon and used basically an entire lemon, almost. When it said to just use 2 teaspoons or something, I used almost both halves of the lemon. So anyways, I appreciate everybody viewing, tuning in. Harissa sauce, homemade, really good. I was going to add onion. What do you guys think about adding onion to this? I don't know. I never made this particular sauce before, so I wasn't 100% sure. And then I didn't want to fuck it up, which I don't think it would. I think it would actually complement this really nice, having a nice layer of onion with it, like a white onion. And I had onion. I could have chopped some up and just added it to it, blend it up. But anyways, that's it. I'm blabbing now. I appreciate everybody coming, tuning in. Homemade harissa. Thanks for burning with me.